does it have to be this bad?
Lately, my social media feeds have been full of, well, nasty stuff. I went to a store and there are rows and rows and aisles upon aisles of cards to tell someone we love them in 1,000 different ways and with 1,000 different words. Why is it when we go online, we become something that our friends in real life wouldn't recognize? A friend of mine was feeling the same way I am, and we sat down and talked about it. So, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you posted or what set that off?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm sure, if anybody's on social media, you've probably seen it in the last couple of days that, IHOP, International House of Pancakes, has decided as a part of a huge marketing scheme to change their name from IHOP to IHOB, and it's International House of Burgers. And
over the summer.
Over the summer. It's a temporary thing, and I guess the whole ploy is that they want to help people focus on they do more than just pancakes.
Right.
Well, what's happened now is you've got all of these other fast food chains where, specifically with Wendy's, now if anybody's seen Wendy's like on Twitter, their whole marketing scheme now is, hey, we're going to completely savagely toast and rip people, and it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
And for the most part it is. I mean, it's usually just, making fun of McDonald's and how their ice cream machine's always broken or something along those lines. Well, I grew to expect it from Wendy's, but then and maybe this is like a plan, maybe everybody's on the same page, I don't know, but everybody started ripping into IHOP.
Yeah.
One right after the other. And I get it, they're companies, they're not real people. But what I saw, there was a specific post that I saw, and somebody had gone through and taken screenshots of Burger King, Waffle House, Whataburger, obviously Wendy's, and I think there was one or two other chains, and they were all just savagely ripping into IHOP. And I don't know, for just a split second, it just reminds me of what happens like in school. You know, somebody says, "Hey, this is my new favorite shirt," or "Hey, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna do this thing, or I'm gonna do my hair this way," and one person makes fun of it. And then another person makes fun of it.
Cascade.
And
it's like The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
They savaged that actress on The Last Jedi to the point she canceled her Instagram account.
Kelly Tran. Yeah.
Kelly Tran, and she was having death threats.
Yeah.
She's an actress. And this has been something I've been thinking about. And any people who know me personally know I have as much, if not more than most people, that I could just be mad at the world about and just give the big middle finger and all this. But this whole idea of being snarky as a way of making yourself feel superior to someone else, and as that's humor, I don't know. It seems like, and we've all complained about this on the internet forever. Yeah. Ever since the internet's been around, there's been people who have sit there and decided, the trolls.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit behind anonymity of the internet and troll people. Well, it's gotten to the point that it's like every last thing you do, somebody's going to decide, hey, I'm going to be snarky about it. I'm going to have some snide comment, and I'm going to, oh, look how great I'm feeling. And this is not about me going like, look down on everybody else and going like, you snarky people should. I've done it too. And we've all told snarky jokes, and we've all done that.
Oh, yeah.
It just seems like the boulder has gotten to a point that it's and we've always said this, the internet's always kind of a degrade. It always gets to the lowest level.
Oh yeah.
But we don't all have to hit that low level.
Yeah.
And that's what's really getting on me now is you can disagree with somebody without having to mock them and savage them to the point like Kelly Tran left the internet.
Yeah, more or less.
Because she got tired. She had too much.
And especially in literally, it could not be more juxtaposed in the same month, in the same week, where we have two very, very prominent celebrities who have tragically decided to end their lives. Right. Now, we don't know that it was necessarily for bullying or anything like that, but we see people every single day. We hear about high schoolers. We hear about adults perfectly fine with no signs of mental illness that are ending their lives because of bullying.
Right.
And granted, there's everything to say about learning to stand up for yourself or learning to take a joke for yourself, but this goes far beyond. And I think you and I have really started to pick up on there's this mob mentality that just shoots off, and as soon as one person does it, the other person who maybe wouldn't have made a joke, but since somebody else did it, then they'll do it, and it's all about redirecting our own frustrations off of ourselves and making somebody else the scapegoat.
Right. It's instead of just something happens. Okay, so we've all had times in our life where we felt really, really down, and I have too, immensely. And the thing is, when you're going on there in social media, like, watch this, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna pass this meme on about how I got him. Right. It's not even it doesn't even have to be a personal attack. It can be an attack on something they believe in.
Exactly.
Or they support, and you know it's a hurtful thing.
Right.
But you don't know what people are going through.
That's right.
When I was going through stuff with Beckett, when I started out, before Beckett, I kept everything in. Yeah. I didn't share anything because I didn't want to, I wouldn't want to burden you with my troubles.
Right.
And if you didn't know that, and if you were the kind to be just snarky and mean, you could have said some mean stuff about kids with cancer and things like that, not knowing what I was going through.
Exactly.
Now, after Beckett fought and lost his battle with cancer, during that battle, I changed a lot.
Yeah.
I became much, much more open, almost to the point of being too open, honestly, some people would say. But I just believe being transparent, it helped me. Your post kind of just really brought out something that I've been thinking about for a long time, which is raising people up. And if you raise somebody up, you don't have to tear them down to build yourself up. In fact, just the opposite happens. If you go and try and tear another person down, you're coming down too.
That's right.
Life isn't a zero-sum game where you win, I lose. It's actually, if you win, I also win. Mm-hmm. If I lift you up, I'm lifted up also.
That's right.
If I tear you down, I'm also tearing myself down.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're talking about a one-to-one interaction. Like, again, I think one of the things that really set me off on this path was Kelly Tran.
Yeah.
Because it really bothered me that an actress, that was her job.
Yeah.
She was just performing. And what happened? People tore her to the point she just left the internet.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. You don't have to do that.
That's right.
So, you'd mentioned something once before about being just, and what was that again?
Yeah. So, I mean, something that really just kind of speaks to me, and honestly, I'm learning so much about it right now, even just in my own life. And it's a verse out of Scripture that just says, whatever's just, whatever's beautiful, whatever's lovely, whatever's honorable, think on these things, because I think we as human beings, in our natural, just kind of raw state, we are so prone and ready to think about the negative, whether it's in our own personal life. So there's people that are so prone to go out and tear somebody else down. It's because they're constantly tearing themselves down in that silent head game. They're the ones that are saying, you can't do this, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, whatever. And so it just becomes, because that's what they're thinking about, that's what comes out. And so, whether you're a person of faith or not, it doesn't matter. I think that focusing and intentionally practicing saying, no, I'm going to practice saying the things that are lovely, the things that are just, the things that are noble, the things that are honorable. Because if I practice that, and I practice telling myself that, not to lie to myself, but to build myself up, but then now that's going to be my habit, and I'm gonna intentionally be lifting other people up as well. And if I can say it about myself, I can say it about you. And I think what you were saying about, it's not a zero-sum thing where it's like you have to lose in order for me to win. No, it's like social investment. Think about it like, when you're investing in something to build it up, if it succeeds, you succeed. But if all you're ever doing is spending your resources to destroy something, it's a waste, because
you have so much more to give than just destroying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Destruction is so easy.
Yeah.
Destruction and tearing something down is about the easiest thing there is.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to build.
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter if it's personal, from a social standpoint, or just like you said with the IHOP with Wendy's tearing people down. It doesn't. Snarky jokes are snarky jokes. It's easy to destroy. It's really hard to build up.
Yeah.
But building up is so much more satisfying.
Oh, absolutely.
Than tearing down.
Yeah.
Tearing down is like you push something out and you hit the send button and you smile and pat yourself on the back, and that's it.
That's it. That's the end of it.
It. And in fact, there's going to be a lot of people who are your friends. Because I have friends who can get really, really snarky and they're friends. But I think it really bothers me. And there's been a couple that I wanted to message directly, but I'm not sure where they're at. And that's one of those tough things is that I just want to go like, it's really bothering me the degree to which people tear people down.
Yeah.
Because I've been through so much.
Yeah.
That I've learned I couldn't have gotten through my son's death without a community of people lifting me up.
That's right.
And it would have been so easy for people just to tear me down.
Yeah.
And there were people who did. Honestly, there were situations where I was, I've been put in bad situations because, there was just a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
And I could be really mad. I could be angry. I could sit there and go, look at that.
Yeah.
And just go on everywhere, social media, and slam them, and just forever. And it'd be real easy for me to do that. But I've just felt that the better thing to do, the better way to honor my son, who was probably the most giving, forgiving person I've ever known in my life, is to go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. I've always taught my kids the one thing that no one can take away from you. They can take your money, they can take your life, they can take your freedom,
right.
They can take everything you own, they can take your family. You name something they can take away from you except for that one thing, and that one thing is your honor.
Yeah.
And when I think, at least in my mind, when you sit there and attack somebody viciously on social media, I mean, cyberbullying and all that, we all talk about with kids.
Right.
But it's adults too.
Oh, yeah.
I see plenty of adults doing the same thing they would tell their kids not to do.
Oh, absolutely. It's so funny. I was like, man, I'm so glad I'm not in high school anymore. And yet at the same time, I see some of the people I went to high school with being more high school than they were in high school. It's crazy. I mean, like pettiness knows no bounds.
No.
The human nature is incredible. And I think one of the things that really speaks to me or is I'm passionate about with this issue is that, we as a society, we decry double standards and we point them out in everybody else, but we refuse to acknowledge them in ourselves. And I think, it's easy to laugh at this whole situation about the brands and how, they're just out to make a buck. It's different because they're a company. It doesn't matter. And I know I probably said this already, but it burns me that we're so okay with allowing a double standard to exist that says, hey, Concept, when Concept comes out, the only way to push, or to critique is to snarkily destroy. And I think when we have young people who are like, people are getting younger and younger using the internet. There's people that aren't even past their first decade that are tech proficient and they're out making YouTube channels. They're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And the thing is that like, they may be contributors in internet content, but they haven't even begun to start finishing on their development as a human being. And there's so much that can be learned from just, oh, I thought that was funny, so here it is. But then somebody else picks it up, doesn't recognize the irony, or doesn't recognize the slight, oh yeah, but it's different because it's this. No. I can guarantee there's going to be tons of younger people that are going to see this, and it's going to be a new opportunity for them to make fun of somebody else. It's almost like IHOpping is like the new. It's like, oh, what are you going to do? You're going to be like IHOP. You're going to go out and change this or whatever. And it's like, I think we have to be really intentional, and it's just like thinking about what's just, thinking about what's noble. It's not about walking on eggshells. It's about completely shifting your perspective to say, I'm not just going to not tell this joke around you. I'm recognizing, it's like what you're saying too, you don't know what somebody else is going through. You don't know what somebody else's experience is. And it's not just not hurting someone's feelings. It's recognizing that, hey, I need to be building people up. I need to be investing in other people, and it doesn't just have to be telling the right jokes to the right people. It's why are we even doing this at all? Like, why is that our nature instead of saying, hey, even though it is maybe amusing and maybe we can all share a joke about it later on, but recognizing, hey, right now it's more important that I get to know you. I get to know what matters to you, and I find a way that lifts you up, or I say, hey man, did you mean to do that? Like, I'm trying to understand. I want to understand why you made this decision instead of, you're an idiot. Well, why did you do that? And I think that's really, like you said, it's really hard to do that though.
Because if you think that you're bringing yourself up, you're not. So, that's what I want to talk about today. Was just lifting each other up more, checking yourself before you decide to insult somebody online. It's just really bothering me, and I appreciate what you've been posting. So, tell them how to find you.
So, my name's Michael. I'm on Facebook, Michael James Year Out. I also, all of my videography stuff we talked about earlier is at MJ Year Out Imagery. Same tag. You can find me on Instagram as well. And I was gonna put it all in the right in this area here.
There, somewhere.
Dude, Roger, I just thank you so much for reaching out. This has been really cool. It's something that's passionate about. I'm passionate about it too. So it's just really cool to be able to share and just kind of talk about it. So
it's all good, man.
Dude,
all good.
Such a good time. Don't leave me hanging. There it is.
All right.
See ya.
Peace.
All right, bye.